Yeah, so I would like to tell you one more thing about the certificates. It is that our certificates have been sponsored by uh, Give My Certificate. So all of your certificates will be valid on your resumes as well as throughout your life. So yeah, spread it to your friends that the certificates are really valid from the club. And yeah, like it is a free paid course. It is a free course that is giving out certificate. So why not? Also, Pranay, we'll start by 6:10. So take the stage, and it's all yours.
Cool. Then I'll just shut up until 6:10.
Also, Pranay, like a participant of ours has DM'd me and asked me to tell, like, he's facing some issues because he also doesn't know how to be on Discord and ask us queries, as well as he doesn't know how to upload files on GitHub. So like we'll share the GitHub like video link of YouTube, as well as if you can, please tell them how to go to queries section on our Discord server, or I'll show
Yeah.
that. What do you want? Like,
Okay. Until then, you,
you
you just show it on.
acha,
Computer
okay.
setting, right? Yeah.
Okay,
Just
okay. Okay, we have someone raising the hand. So Prince Thakur.
okay. I
Okay.
think guest cannot access the chat. He can't add the chat. That's why I think.
Okay, okay, Prince, may I'm giving you an access of mic. Please unmute yourself. Yep, you have the mic access. Please unmute if you have any queries. Okay, I guess maybe the guest has like raised hand by mistake, so I'm taking out the access. I'm disabling the mic again.
Yeah, because that happens sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
okay.
can share your screen and show the people like how to what are
Okay,
queries and all.
lower the hand. The guest has raised the hand. Okay, no issues. Yep, it's 6:09. Pranay start at 6:10. Okay.
So until then, let me share the screen. Mm, also confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, it's wide and clear.
Perfect. Enter full screen mode. As you can see, I don't have a lot of slides for the day. Okay, but I have a lot of things to talk about. We'll be discussing a lot today. What to do next and all those things. And it's 6:10. I will start. How the web works. Until these 3 days, we just discussed what is the web and how to build our own websites using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and all those things. We was discussing all these things. These 3 days, the basics, how to get started, and we just laid a path for your web development journey. And how the web works is the most important topic that I think 70% of the developers who are in who are in universities, still in universities, don't know this particular concept. People generally ignore this particular concept, but this is a very important concept. Like these are the things which you get asked from interviews and all those things. If someone asks, they will ask these things only. Okay, so these are the most important topics. And without any further ado, I'll just get started. Yeah, how the web works. Web is nothing but web. By the meaning of web, it's not your Chrome and all those things. By web, I mean the servers, the connection between servers and your computer. Okay, we have been neglecting this connection. We are just saying there will be a connection between a server and your computer. But we are not talking about how the connection works, how they talk each other, and all those things we will be discussing today. And okay, how the web works. And before this, I'll just quickly recall the day one because starting of the day one is important for this. I will just quickly recall the day one starting. Okay, this is loading. Yeah. Um, the day one starting, we are discussing about how the websites work, not how web works. And let me just quickly recall how the websites work again. All the websites at the most basic level are nothing but just a bunch of files. like as we discussed this today, HTML, CSS, JavaScript files, and those files are stored on the server, somewhere on a computer called server, and then you load those files on your computer using client. Client is nothing but Chrome and all those things. In this connection between your server and your client is nothing. This is generally called as client server communication or client server connections. In this case, client is not you. Client is nothing but your browser, Chrome and Firefox and all these are called client. And when your client gets the files, it will convert those HTML, CSS, JavaScript files into the websites. Okay, we have discussed all these things initially, and not this thing. Yeah. Now let's jump into today's presentations. How the web works, as well web works. Let's say you open your Chrome and say you just type down example.com. Okay, just type down example.com. Okay, when you hit this example.com, what happens? This is how the web works includes. Okay, the moment you hit example.com, your client is nothing but Chrome sends a request to the DNS resolver. Now, what is this DNS resolver and all those things? I will explain. Like your browsers don't remember the domain like example.com. They don't know what English. They can't remember example.com and all those things. They just know binary numbers and IP addresses and all those things. Your browser only remember the IP address. Now what do mean by meaning of IP address? If I inspect over this tab, I'll show you practically instead of just showing the files. I will show you practically. There is a tab called network tab. This tab includes all the incoming requests and outgoing requests. Okay, all the incoming requests to your client and all the outgoing requests. Now, when I hit reload, you can observe. Okay, let's just hit hard reload. Okay, if there's anything wrong, we'll just reload manually. Let me show you. OSC inspect tab. Click adjustments. Yeah. Okay, now we are in the CSS tab. Okay, if you can see over here, it's in CSS tab. You go to others or all here. Yeah, it's over all. Okay, in the network inspect, go to the network tab and go to all tab over here. Okay, if you observe here, when I reload quickly, observe here, the first file that appeared is example.com, which is the domain, actual domain. Okay, if I click on this, we will see server sending the request. Our client, which is nothing but our client browser, sending the request of example.com. Okay. Now I will also explain all these things. What is the structure of this thing next after explaining of this? We don't confuse by the structure. Just observe this thing. So I was sending example.com request, and the response is getting is. If you get over here, the response is. It includes the address 93.184.216.38. This is nothing but the IP address of the server where your files are located. Now on the cloud, there are different computers. These are not servers. There are multiple servers and multiple computers on the cloud. Now for your particular computer where your website is hosted, there will be a particular IP address for the particular system. Now you can also know the IP address for your own system. There will be different IP address for all the systems. Okay. Now this thing is the IP address of your system, and the 443 is nothing but it's an what is it, port. 443 at the end is called port. If you observe clearly, it's separated with an colon. Let me just run this app so that I can zoom. Okay, I'll zoom and show you. As you can see, the 443 is separated with an colon. Okay. Yeah. Now this is the first step. But what I have shown till now is your browsers don't remember the example.com domain. They don't understand the example.com domain. They want this particular IP address. Okay, they want this particular IP address to show. Okay, what we are telling is now we need to convert this particular example.com domain to this IP address. Now this process of conversion of example.com domain to IP address will be done inside of a DNS resolver. Your browser, your own system, your browser will have a DNS resolver. Okay, now we are looking at that DNS resolver, how the DNS resolver works. Okay, how the DNS resolver works. Now, what I have explained is this complete system Okay, domain DNS is nothing but domain name system. Don't confuse. There are different slides. Okay, I will go step by step. But once I'm just showing broadly, we need to convert this example.com domain to this particular IP address. Okay, that's our main task. Going back to the slide. Yeah, now the first step is our browser sends a request to the DNS resolver. What is the IP address? By asking what is the IP address of example.com. What your DNS resolver will do is, okay, then there is a small glitch over the slides, just ignore that. What your DNS resolver will do is, it will ask for some other address, for some other server, okay? DNS resolver is nothing but it's just a server, okay? It includes some other servers, okay? And what your DNS resolver will do, it will go to some other server and ask where the .com domains, do you know where example.com is stored? That particular server says, I don't know where example.com stored, but I know where the .com domains are stored. And it gives the IP address of that particular server. Okay, don't confuse. This particular server, the first server, asked the root name server. This second server is called root name server, which contains the IP addresses of .com, .in, .org, these domains. Okay, now this will give back where the IP addresses of .com's domain stored. And then what happens next is, then again your server will go to some other server called .com name server for .com, which for which IP address is given by the root name server. Okay, root name server is given some particular IP address, right? Now it will go to that particular IP address and ask again, where is the example.com? What is the IP address of the example.com? Now this particular server know a server which exactly know the where example.com is present. Okay. Now this is the final server um, which our client asked the question to, which know the answer. Okay, which know the answer. For getting to this server, it initially goes to multiple servers. Just to shorten down, just we can't include hundreds of servers, right? There will be a big connection over there. We just need to remember that there is a server called root name server, and there's a server called name server for .com domain separately and name server for .in domain separately, and then the exact server that which know the exact answer, and then it will return the final answer. DNS resolver will return the final answer, that final IP address of the server where our files are located to the client. And then what our client will do, our client will directly connect to that particular server. Now our client know where the particular files are there. Okay, our client will connect that particular server using the IP address. Now at this particular point, the example.com is completely converted to the IP address is to port. So I think you got understand until this point. And after this particular step, what our client will do, our client will send the HTTP request. HTTP request is nothing but what you are seeing over here. This thing is called HTTP request. Asking for the files. Give me this particular website files. Then the server will send HTML, CSS, JavaScript files for our client. And client means the browser. And then our browser converts those HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files to a website. This is how the complete web works and what is the DNS and all those things. So this is how the web works. Now you'll be asking what is HTTP. Okay, this is like most confusing topic, like most important and more confusing topic in the complete web development. You can say. Go. Good. Now let me just go to the MDN docs and explain you there. Now HTTP full form of HTTP is hypertext transfer protocol. Okay, this is the language. It is used for communication between your client and the server. This is the language used for the communication between your client and the server. Like me and you will, we both are communicating in English, right? They have their separate language. They have their separate rules. Like in English, we have grammar and all. They have their separate rules. They have their set of regulations and all those things. They call the languages HTTP. Okay, this is a language which is used. This is not a language. This is a protocol. I'm just saying language word for the example. Okay, don't say to anyone that this HTTP is a language. Okay, it is a protocol. Now, why we use HTTP? HTTP is usually the point like for sending requests and getting the responses. Okay, you can see here here are the headers of HTTP request, and this is the preview which the website it get and this is the response, which was just HTML file and which connects to the CSS and JavaScript files. If you observe here, style, text.css, all those things. This is the response that our client got. Here, if you go to the OSC website and go to the Alt tab, reload. First one will be the domain one, and then all the different files for this particular website. I would just quickly click on the domain file and elaborate and response. This is a big file. If you observe, this is a single line minified HTML, and then so different things and at which particular time, which particular thing took so much time. Like if you observe your DNS lookup, like getting the particular DNS. SSL here, there are some particular terms. There will be some particular terms, most important terms like SSL. SSL is nothing but SSL certificate is nothing but if you observe over here, when I elaborate this particular link, you can see this HTTPS. Okay, you can see this HTTPS. Now HTTP and HTTPS are not two different protocols. They are both same. But when you see yes, it's secured. When you see yes, it's secured. That's the meaning. And also, if you observe over here, the common port number for HTTPS is 443. Okay, this website is also on HTTPS, right? Because it's so it have 443 as common port. Sorry, common port. Now let's see some website. I think this so I'll also open this on HTTP. If you observe, I opened this on HTTP. It will not. Okay. Yeah. If you observe over here, the port changed to 80. The common port for HTTP is 80. This is the thing. And back to MDN docs. Yeah. Now you don't need to know about this deeply. You just need to know there will be some particular headers which will be containing the return types. What are the files you will be getting in return and all those things. And there's some important things like HTTP status codes. Let me just quickly go to that particular point. HTTP status, okay, HTTP status response codes. Okay, before this, HTTP methods. Those are important. What is this? Yeah, HTTP request methods. Now there will be different types of methods in HTTP. One method is get, one with head, post, put, delete, connect, and all those things. In these things, important methods are get, post, delete. Delete is also very useless, but most importantly, get and post will be used a lot. Get to get the data from the server, post to post the data to the server. Okay, post will be mostly used like when we are updating our backend, like when we are updating some data to our backend. Get will be used at the times like when we are getting the data from our backend or when we are getting some data from the server and all those things. These are like get, post. These are some different methods. And jumping to the status codes. And also, if you observe over here, it says get because we are getting the files from the server. Okay, it says get. Yeah. And status codes. Yeah. Because why I'm opening this particular website because it's so hard to drop all these things in the presentations. This is so clear. That's why I'm just opening this thing. Yeah. And while coming to the status codes are nothing but we observe over this file. There is a status code called 200 OK. There is a status code called 200 OK. And there is a red, this favicon.io is it's in red color, right? If I click on here, it says 404 not found. Now these are the different status codes that are given by the server. Okay, whether the particular request is successful or unsuccessful or anything. There are to represent these things. There are different status codes. Now the status codes between 100 and 103 or general status codes like switching protocols and continue information. Those just contain some information. Okay, status codes between 100 and 200 contains information. Status code between 200 and 300 represents success. Everything is okay, accepted, created, success, and all those things. If you observe, okay, created, success. There is no issue. That's all. There is no issue. 200 and 204, 205, and all those things. And next range is redirecting messages. Now let me just show you what is redirecting messages means. I will try to open the OSC website in HTTP. Okay, I removed yes, and I'm clicking enter. And if I click on my URL bar, you will observe that still yes is there. Okay, it redirected to HTTPS website only. Now if I click on the first one, the first request sent by our browser, it's saying 304 internal redirect. What it did when we hit the HTTP, if you observe over here, request URL is HTTP, not HTTPS. The first request URL is HTTP. What it did, it just did an internal redirect, and you can observe there is a second request also with the same domain. Click on this, it says HTTPS. It's redirect us to HTTPS, and again 200, everything is okay, status code. Okay, I think you understand what is internal redirect and all those things. And all the 300 are redirect messages. If you want, you can go to this particular link and check all clearly, but this one is not important. The first three are just important to remember. And the 400 range is client side error. There is some error from the client side. Let's say if you don't have internet access, like if you remove the like you will try to connect to some particular website without internet, it will show 402 or 400 bad internet, no internet, like that. Okay, these errors are client side errors, 400 range, and 500 range is like server errors. There is some error in server, or server crash, or server is busy. Now let's say you're getting your results on this day, but so many are trying to access the same server. Your server just crashes and it says internal server error. Whenever you get 500 error, it's an error from server, it's not from you. Well, this 502 is the general error you get from the server. Yeah, and these are the HTTP status codes. Yeah, and this is how the web works. Okay, I think you guys understand how the web works. I will just take a quick minute. Okay, or protocols, a set of rules. Protocols are nothing but a set of rules of communication between the client and the server. Okay, how the client and server will communicate. Those are protocols for that particular thing. Range of 100 to 200 set of codes. Range of 100 to 200 is just information. They just contain the information, some information. Let's say you are not returning anything from the server. Like when you send a GET request, you are not giving any response. It just gives some information like that. Like continue. Continue is not an error, not a redirect or nothing. It's just a simple continue, just some information. I think you are understanding. Like if you say redirect, it's redirecting to one page to another page. If you say error, it's just giving you some error, like client error or server error. But 100 is such a range, like just continue, switching, like this a small processes just give some information about the process, not like some hints and all those things. And anyone have any doubts about this particular concept, how the web works? Anyone more? Drop in the chat or raise your hand. Perfect. It seems like no one have any issues and with this concept. Now what I will be talking now is what to do next. Okay, like someone else drop. What is the difference? Yeah, HTTP is a unsecured. HTTPS is with an SSL certificate. SSL certificate, when you get the SSL certificate for your domain, whenever I'm saying domain, example.com is a domain. HTTPS is secured. Okay, HTTPS websites are secured websites. HTTP websites are somewhat not secured websites. Okay, generally you should not give your passwords and all on HTTP websites. Okay, just a quick alert. Yeah, both are same. Yes, it represents the security. That's all. Yes, represents the security. That's the point. And I will quickly drag in roadmap which I got from the GitHub. If you guys anyone heard about the roadmap SH, it's a popular website where you can get all the roadmaps on the particular websites. The perfect roadmap, not like anyone just wrote and all those things. It's a roadmap verified by experts. People say. I will just quickly go to the top and see the checks. Okay, what we have learned, does it contain or not? Okay, the first point for front end, like generally web development will start from the front end, no one will start from the back end. First of all, you need to know the front end and some general internet concepts. If you observe, the first point is internet. It includes how the internet and what is HTTP we have discussed today, browsers and how they work. I have also explained that how browsers work, and I have also explained DNS. DNS is nothing but domain name system. And what is a domain? Domain is just an IP address, textual format of IP address of your IP address. And what is hosting, I will be discussing at the end of this session. Okay, what is hosting? And HTTP, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. We have learned all the basics of HTML, CSS, JavaScript in the initial classes. Just two topics I haven't discussed is SEO and accessibility. Those are like, as you can see here, they are marked on gray color. That means that those are not important to know. You can learn on the advanced stages. Those are like somewhat advanced type, not for beginners. Okay. As you can see, learn basics of HTML, forms and validations. We have discussed forms and validations, and conversations and best practices for the HTML. The best practices for the HTML, I've also discussed those things, like when to use what, and CSS syntax and JavaScript DOM manipulation and all those things, and CSS making layouts, Flexbox. If you guys have attended the day 2, I was discussing about these things, Flexbox and box model and all those things. And the next concept like JavaScript DOM manipulation, how to manipulate the HTML pages with JavaScript. Okay, how to manipulate the HTML pages with JavaScript. And the next, version control system. I haven't discussed the version control system here, but we have a YouTube video. I just drop the YouTube video of the first YouTube video on our channel, explaining the Git and GitHub, what the Git and GitHub is. The community leader of open source this year, I just made a great session previously on what is version control system and all those things, Git and GitHub, like 30 minutes video. Just go through that. You'll be clear on all those concepts. And what's up on the next point is web security. If you observe, it's an advanced topic, so not for beginners. Okay, you can learn it later. Web security and all those things, course, this will all comes like security aspect of the website, like how to store the passwords of your user securely and all those things. And package managers, I will be discussing next. That's the next concept. And all these things, SaaS and all those things are like CSS frameworks, which is like a CSS with a super powers, you can say. Like they will make writing CSS easy. At the end, you will get CSS files itself, but it makes writing CSS easy. That's all. No changes in the end product. That will be CSS only. And build tools, I will also talk about a little bit about build tools and all those things. I will not be going deep. I will just give a touch like that. Okay. Yep. I'll be talking about the frameworks. This pick framework is this particular step is the most important step in your life. You can say. Pick a particular perfect framework is an important step. You can see it's React.js is colored in a purple, which means important. Okay, recommended, not important, recommended. Now I open my browser and quickly drop some open source repositories to learn web development. After that, I will be discussing about Npm and all those things, package managers and React, what to do next, what to learn, where to learn, and all those things. First of all, some learning resources, open source learning resources. Okay, so some open source learning resources. I'm hopping over here. Yeah. This is the first GitHub repository, which contains free programming books. You can get any programming book over here for free. Okay, it just is a big list over here. Not this list, this is a simple list. But if you observe over here, this is a big list. You have in all languages and all online courses and all those things. It also include courses. It also includes cheat sheets. It also include books. I'll just quickly go to English to show you guys. Language cheat sheet. Let me just show you cheat sheets. Let's say I want cheat sheet for JavaScript. As you can see over here, these are the different cheat sheets for JavaScript, like Next.js, jQuery, like simple JavaScript cheat sheet. Click over here, you will be just redirected to the particular link. Okay, it's just a one place for all the free resources. You will give a star for this repository, use it. Yeah, this is a repository 1, and the next repository is open source documentation. Open source documentation. Now, documentation is the most important thing which you need to refer all the time. Okay, whenever you got any doubt, whenever you got stuck, just go to the official documentation of that particular language and check over there. You will be most probably you will be finding the solution over there or on Stack Overflow. Okay, this is like one spot for all the documentations, and just dropping some important links, some useful links. Yeah, just go to the GitHub and search for some open source documentation. You will get this at first. And there are two more. The first one is build your own X. It's important at the point of your life when you will be like, oh, sorry. Build your own X. Let's say in the future you want to build your own bot, or as you want to build your own product, and you are stuck. You don't know where to start, which language you need to use, or all those things. You'll have the complete guide for this, like when to use what, when to use which language, when to use which framework, and all those things. The complete guide, you can say. This is the first point you need to come, first place you need to come when you're thinking to build something. I'm just dropping this, start this repository and use it. And yeah, these are some important one you need to learn about. And npm, I will talk about npm. What is npm? Let's say you're working with javascript, you're learning some javascript frameworks. Now when I say javascript framework, it's nothing but just frameworks are nothing but like which are built upon a language to make your life easier. Like you won't sit all the time writing all the html your own and all those things, right? There will be some parts are repeating, and you need to it's hard to integrate the logic in html if you observe. Okay, to make your life easier, there are something called frameworks and libraries. Okay, there's something called frameworks and libraries which you need to use for sure. If you see about any websites you see on the internet, they are not built upon html and css. There are like some particular websites, few like 10 to 50% of websites that's purely built upon html. Like at the end all the websites are will be on html, but where when developers are working on it, it will be on some framework. Okay, now if you observe the OSC's main website, this is built using React, but even when you inspect over this, you will see HTML only. Okay, and what how this process, how the whole process like React to HTML works, I'll also explain that. Okay, let's say go to GitHub, how the open source community. Okay, sorry, I'm not supposed to show this. There are some, sorry, there are some private repositories over there for our organization. I will just open a new link, take it out, and show you the code of the this website, how it's written on all those things. Yeah, let me just include all this. First website. Okay. Now this is a public repository. You can check out this repository. Give a star if you want. Yeah. If you observe over here, this is the React folder. You cannot observe any HTML file over here. Everything will be in JavaScript because React is an JavaScript framework, or React is a library, not framework. Just a quick disclaimer, people will tell me again. React is a library. It's not framework, but it's not less than any framework. Okay, it's just better than a framework. If you ask any React developer, they refer it as a framework only. You can ask any React developer, yeah, all the React developers refer React as a framework only, but it's a library actually. Okay, let me just show you quickly. Yeah, components. Just quickly go into some random code just so that I can just show you something. I'll go code team 21, team layout.sys. Yeah. And there's a big file structure we observed. Don't overwhelm by the big file structure. So I want to show you this is the big file structure of this complete website. Okay, it's not a short website. Yeah. Okay, I have opened CSS file. My bad. I had opened JavaScript file, and this is the JavaScript file in the React or in whenever you are working with some other framework. Now React is a JavaScript framework. Of course, we use JavaScript. There are some other frameworks like Django where you use Python and all Python and HTML to work with that. But React is like an JavaScript framework, so that you will be using JavaScript for doing everything. You can also use JavaScript for writing CSS also. That's another point. And we can also use pure CSS for writing, not like that directly. And if you observe over here, ignore this first, all these files. If you observe over, it's nothing but HTML only. Okay. When you see this particular thing, it looks like same to HTML only, right? But the file is in JavaScript. .js file. Okay. To be actual, this is not actual HTML. This is something called ES6 or some JavaScript representation of HTML. I can say JavaScript HTML. Like little bit confusing when you're like trying to understand. It's same like HTML but not HTML. Okay, JavaScript HTML. Just try to understand. If you observe over here, the first change you observe is it will be like class is or written as class name. Classes are written as class name, and we also can create our own tags. Let's say I'm just referring tags as a name. These are called components in React. I'm just referring as a name. We can also create our own tags, which take some custom attributes. Okay. Now you can see team card as a tag, right? There is nothing but the separate JavaScript file. Let me show you that also. Like team card.js, you can see here, right? You're using this particular tag instead of writing this all code again and again. You're just dropping all this code in one file and using it as a tag. That's all. I just showed you some small concept of React. Okay. Now I'll just jump to the npm. Now let's say you are using React or any other JavaScript framework, and you don't want to write all the code in that particular time. Someone have written code for you already. Let's say you want to build a navigation bar on the website, on the top of the website. You want to build this navigation bar, but you don't know. You are not good at that. You are not good at building that thing. You'll get confused. Just go to npm, and when you search navbar, yeah, and search for React. I want for React. This is over here, React JS sticky nav. Sticky is nothing but sticks on the top. Okay. Here is the code. You can just copy this line and install the particular package and use this code. You don't need to code from the scratch. It will just give you the same tag I was showing you, right? It will just give you some type of tag to use. It just gives you the complete navbar code. So I'm just trying to explain you something. Yeah. If someone of you are familiar with Python, there will be a concept called pip. There will be a package manager called pip in Python. Which is same for JavaScript. For JavaScript, npm is same as pip. Okay. Python pip, JavaScript npm, same. Yeah, and also there's in JavaScript there is another package manager called Yarn, which actual developers use Yarn. When you are beginning with, everyone will be recommending you use npm because npm have a large community support. If you get any error on npm, you can just quickly search it, Google search, and you will get the answer for that. But that's not the case with Yarn. But you don't actually get lots of errors on Yarn. Yarn and npm are just package managers, just things like that. Now there are a bunch of files of JavaScript files which developers have written and thrown on cloud, and you can easily drag those files into your PC and use those files. So just get rid of writing everything from scratch. Okay, this is npm, and there is some called Yarn. So research and Yarn package manager. Yeah, this is Yarn package manager. And while coming back to the React, I'll just quickly open React's official website. React is a JavaScript framework built by Facebook. You guys know, React is a JavaScript framework built by the built and what to say? I'm sorry, excuse me. Built and okay, I'm just not getting the particular word. Built and maintained by Facebook. Okay, React is a JavaScript framework built and maintained by Facebook. Let me correct myself again. React is a JavaScript library. It's not a framework, but developer refer to as a framework. There is like huge like debate going on nowadays. There is a framework or library. It's a library to be brought to the point, but people refer it as a framework. Okay, now what to do next for you guys? Now until now, you guys have learned the basics basics of HTML and CSS, and you learned JavaScript basics. What I suggest for you to do next is go and build some websites out there. Practice those skills. And this is the point where people give up. They don't practice. They just directly want to build a direct YouTube. They directly want to build a Facebook. Okay, people just learn HTML, CSS, they think that's it, and they want to build a Facebook. Okay, they just go and search how to build Facebook on Google. That's not the actual point. You need to practice. And for practicing, there are some websites that I recommend, like Frontend Mentor. I'll just quickly open the website and show you. If you go to the website and you just log in with your GitHub over here, there will be some challenges. There will be some challenges, just same as assignments are given these days, right? There will be some challenges in the same way. They give you the complete design of the website, what you should build, and all those things, and you need to code it using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Complete 3 to 4 to 5 challenges on this website. Okay, complete 4 to 5 challenges. You can filter. So you can filter free and free plus. No need to go for premium and all those things. And go to newbie. You complete 1 to 2 on newbie, and after completing newbie, go to junior. Click on junior also. Complete 1 to 2 on junior, and go to intermediate, because intermediate includes some frameworks. Using some frameworks will be better in the point of intermediate. You will get the idea. You will get the idea. I can assure that you will get the idea by building the junior level projects, like junior level websites. You will get the complete idea how to work on the websites and all those things. And also, I wanna just quickly give some mindset, like how to think when you see a design. So let me just quickly open some design over here. First, right? Opening this image. Yeah. How to think of doing this when you see when you see the design. Think of it like as boxes. Don't think of it as a website. There are some boxes on this website. Just think that. Okay. Think the whole website is a box, and there are some boxes inside the box. Think the website as a boxes. This is the best way to break down a website. Okay. Let's say this whole thing is a box, and there is a small box over this card. Is a small box inside of the big website box. Okay. Now what we do? This box as a div. We'll just keep a div for this complete box. Okay. Understanding the point? We'll just keep a div in the HTML for this box. And you observe over here that this small card is divided into 2 parts. One part, sorry, divided into 3 parts. One part is the image. Second part is the actual content, name, description, and the price. Now this is some NFT website, this Ethereum and all these values. Okay. Image, name, image is one part, and name and description is another part, and creator, credits, and all these parts. And if you observe broadly, there are 2 parts. One is image, and second is all the details. Now these are 2 different boxes. And again, in the secondary box, one box in the down, we can divide into 2 parts. The top part contains the details, and second part contains the creation, or who created it. Okay. This is the way you need to break down. And again, in the description part, as you can see, it break down into 3 parts. Now, no need to keep divs here, because these are just small pieces. You can directly keep h1, p, and some span tags for this. Okay, understanding my point, right? But directly, this is how you break down into a website. Okay, this is how you break down into a website. And when you become proficient in breaking down a website, at that particular point, you will know how to use concepts like flex and grid. Grid is a concept which I haven't studied in this particular classes, because it's like some advanced classes. When you become proficient in understanding breaking down a website, at that particular point you will be efficient to learn grid. And only learn grid when you understand that part. Until then, don't touch grid. Okay, don't even touch grid. That's what I recommend. Okay, if you want to learn grid now only, you can go to the W3 schools website. There's no documentation for the learning grid and all those things. Yeah, but I don't recommend running grid now. Use Flexbox. Flexbox is enough for you guys now. But this is how we break down a website. And then after breaking down a website, you can just directly code. And also one more important thing, when you're thinking of doing your own website, when you're thinking of building your own website, don't build directly. First of all, take a paper and draw a small, write what contains in a home page. Okay, which things comes under home page. What comes? What are the different pages of the website? Like home page, about page, contact page. What comes under home page? What comes in about page? Write down the actual content. Okay, write down the actual content and then start your website. Once you start your website, you don't need to think what should come here. Okay, you don't need to think what should come here. I'm not saying learn complete designing and design your website professionally. At least take a paper and write down clearly what you're going to do. Only when you are clear about what you're going to do, then only start making your website. What happens is when you jump directly, you will be you will be getting the feeling like I'm not proficient enough in building the website. I'm taking this much long time for building this small thing. You'll be thinking all these things. These all thoughts will be coming in your mind. I have been through that phase. That's why I'm saying you take a paper before building a website. Just draw some boxes, and write the actual content, actual text that's gonna be there, and collect the actual images that you're gonna use. Once you start the building a website, you don't need to search for images. Okay, you can change it anytime, but you need to have at least one image to use. Okay, I think you guys understand about this now. Go to this website, do these challenges, and there's also one more website. I will just quickly drop this link in the chat. It will be hard for you guys to keep track of all the links. Yeah. And there's one more called. So just give me a minute. I forgot the name. Just go to Instagram. This is my Instagram. You guys can follow me on Insta. Anytime. We're dropping daily posts. I was making this is the post. Codewell. Codewell.cc. A lot this link also. Now this is one more website where you can practice your front end skills. This is one more website where you can practice your front end skills. And go to the challenges. There are different challenges over here. Now these challenges are well designed. Okay, if you go to front end mentor, you just got you will just get an image and small Figma file. Figma is nothing but a designing software which UI designers use for designing. It's just a uh, simple tool. You will just get used to easily. That's not a big tool like Illustrator, Photoshop, and all those things. It's just a simple tool. And this one includes this Codewell includes a well designed project. Okay, good projects. Can you share your Insta tag? Insta tag. Let me just drop the link. Yeah. And Codewell contains a well-designed websites. If you observe over here, these websites are like well-designed, each and every aspect, like, including a small text to a big image. Everything will be given to you. You can download everything. Let me show you how this contains. I had to log in through the computer. Let me just quickly log in. If I show you, you will not get confused, right? No need to go for premium. I don't suggest for going for premium for practice purpose. Okay, just practice for free or free ones. Those are enough. Not to go for premium or anything. If you want, you can. That's your personal choice, but I don't recommend personally. Yeah, you need to start from downloading the files into your files. You cannot download the Figma file. Ignore the Figma file. It's not needed. Images are enough. Okay, I'll just show you. And at the end, you can also submit and get reviewed. Okay, at the end, you can also submit your solution and get reviewed. Just downloading. Just download and show you. And bear with me, I will also say how to get started with React and what is React and give some tips for learning React also. React is like a booming library now nowadays. And React conference is also coming in December. I was excited about that. I will just quickly drag this into the folder. It says developer portfolio. The project is developer portfolio. Over starter files, you can see assets. So instead of assets, you can get all the images. Okay, you can get all the images those are user. Okay, and instead of design, you will get all the design images. How it look on the website, how it look on the mobile, how it look on the tablet. I will show you how it look on the website. Okay, how it look on the desktop. This is how it look on the web desktop. Okay, they'll give the complete design. These designs will be designed in the Codewell. Like professional designers will design these websites. Try to do all those things. They'll also add the link to the fonts in Redmi file. Okay, don't worry about the fonts and all those things. And this is how it should look on desktop. And this is the mobile view. Will give you everything. This is the mobile view that you need to do. And I'm not saying start with this project directly. I'm just showing you, for example, don't start with this project. Start with the front end mentors newbie projects. Okay, start with front end mentors newbie projects, and then come to these projects. Okay. And this is how it should look on tablet. Like that. I'm just showing you how what are the files contains. And in readme.md, just quickly open readme.md. MD is nothing but markdown. Like it's not HTML, it's a markdown file, which is generally used for writing the readme files on GitHub. If you are familiar with GitHub, you might be familiar with this thing also. Yeah, this is a small readme.md about the project and all those things. Okay. And how to deploy, I will be talking about this to deploying also in this end. How to deploy your website. Stay tuned for that. This is just a small MD and this also contains the links to the fonts. Okay, link to the fonts. If you click on the font link, you redirect to the Google fonts. And I have also shown you how to get this fonts to your CSS on the day 1 or 2, I think. Yeah, you can link on your HTML or also you can import in CSS. So perfect. This is about code well, and you need to submit the solution over here. When you click on submit solution, you have to fill this title, GitHub repo link, and live link. After deploying, you need to deploy that and drop the live link over here, and they will review and give you some feedback over that also. And this is one. And also, these are like I'm not going to open everything and show you. Just remember these things. JavaScript 30 is like a blog post thing. Okay, for JavaScript, there will be projects and all those things for practicing JavaScript on here. JavaScript 30 projects are like that. And CSS Battle is the best website to practice CSS. Okay, CSS Practice is the best website to practice CSS. This is the one thing. And like you will be battling with some other people. What about next? Yeah, I will be talking about Next.js also. I will talk about Next.js and tailored CSS. That is also booming nowadays. I will talk about it. Just bear with me for 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Can you keep all the links? Yeah. So this you can directly Google. These are like famous websites. You can just Google the JavaScript 30 and all. It will be like harder for me even just go and drop the links and all those things. Just Google JavaScript 30. It will become. It will be on the screen. JavaScript 30. That will be the first link you will be getting. Like this. Okay. It will be harder for you also to keep track of all these links in the chat because just go to the website and bookmark these websites. Okay. Just go to the website and bookmark this website. Just not forget. Yeah, CSS battle is the thing, and coder byte. This is like a somewhat coding related, and you want to when you wanna practice your JavaScript skills, like professional JavaScript, like for loops and arrays and all those things. And go to the here and front end mentor I have covered. And free code camp, everyone knows free code camp. Who don't know that? That's the best resource in the world, for coding. Yeah, that was a quick recap of where you can learn these things. Just close all these folders which I have already discussed about. Yeah, cool. And there's also the roadmap. Let it be. I will be discussing about the roadmap and React and frameworks. Not exactly React frameworks, because when you will be proficient at this point after practicing these things, you will be proficient enough in building a website using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Right now, this is the point. Now, along this process, you will be learning about Git also, right? Use Git for like whenever you build a project, push the code into GitHub. Okay, let me just quickly show you how to deploy now itself. Quickly show you how you deploy now itself. Let me just search for some files to deploy. So let's say in day 2, I have built in hero section, right? In the day 2 over here. So let me just quickly copy these files. Just Control C and go to the desktop. Control Shift N for new folder. Let's say okay. Let me just say you how to do with command line, because using command line is an God-given gift for the developers. Command line is a developer street. Command line has a god. You can say. As a Windows terminal, I'm not using Linux, so sad that I can't use Linux also. Yeah, but now I'll be expanding. I'm integrated the Git bash. You observe here, this is nothing but Git bash. I integrated Git bash with Windows terminal. What I do is CD desktop. I'm just changing my directory. I'm just going into my desktop. I say mkdir for making a new folder, making a new directory called hero section I just create that folder and I'll just see into that folder the section. Cool. We'll just open this in code. Code space dot will open the folder in your code editor. And if I refresh over here, go to desktop and go for H. Zero section over here. Click paste those files. Open in code. And here are our files. Okay. HTML and CSS files. This was the project that I was discussing in the day 2. Device was there. Yeah. And now I'll open my code. Now I have added my files, right? Now what I need to do, I need to push this complete code to cloud. And the best place to push the code to cloud is GitHub. Okay, you need to push our code to GitHub. Okay, and let me just initialize the Git repository. But for doing that, Git space init will just initialize the Git repository for you. And it says initialize intake Git repository. Now what I say is git git add dot to add all the files to the staging area. So if you don't understand this term staging area and all those things, I just drop the VIT link if possible. Yeah, or else I will be dropping it then. Yeah. Just go through that YouTube video, made bias, and just say git commit. This one, just an initial commit, small commit message, initial commit, and I say, and I will go to GitHub. I will open my GitHub. Open my GitHub. And I'll say new repository. Create a new repository. It's a hero section. It's any, you can give any name, not the same as your folder name and all those things. You can give any name for this. I'm just giving same name. Hero section. And saying what I'm, yeah, just click on create repository. And you'll be saying these codes. Now first, these codes for if you haven't initialized your repository. But we have initialized your repository and created all those things. We have also committed all those things. Now we need to add the remote repository. We need to connect our remote repository to the local repository. Okay. What I do is now before doing all these things, before pushing these things, you need to configure your local GitHub using GitHub git config and all those things. That's also covered in the session, I think. Yeah. You know to just set your username and email locally. And just pasting those codes. Just saying there are too many lines. Paste away. Yeah, it's just saying just adding git remote add, just connecting the remote repository to local, and it's just changing the master to main. There's just some data issues. Yeah, and I'm just pushing the code to the cloud now. Yeah, it's pushing the code. Perfect. Cool. Code is pushed. If I reload, my code should be here. Yeah, my code is here. Let's just quickly add some random readme file. Now it's important to have at least one readme file. It is just a name. And now after pushing your code, how to deploy? Now using GitHub, you can deploy in 2 clicks only. Okay, using GitHub pages, you can deploy your website in 2 clicks. But there are some other ways also to deploy, like Netlify, Heroku. There are some different hosting services. For now, I will just show you how to deploy on GitHub. Go to settings. Go to settings, and you observe over here there will be something called pages. Click on the pages, and then over here select none to main. Set the branch at which branch your code is there. Select the branch main and let it be root only. Okay, let it be root and click on save. That's all. Your website will be ready in few seconds on this particular link. Okay, now it says site not found. But when you open this particular link after a few seconds, I will just discuss about some other topics and come back to this. Until then, this website will be built and ready. Yeah. Now, as I've shown you how to deploy your websites, let me just quickly talk about what to learn next. Okay, what to learn next. Until now, we have discussed how to practice the skills which you have occupied by these days. Okay. Until now, we have discussed those things. Now, what to learn next is the picker framework. Even if you look at the roadmap, it says pick a framework. And now, for picking a framework, don't listen to anyone, even don't listen to me in the choice of framework. Everyone will be recommending their own choice. Do your own research, Google, and know what you know the best. Okay, know about your best. At which particular point you are the best. Let's say you have the good experience with Python, you can go with the Python framework. You have when like if you don't have any experience, you're fresh to web development, you don't have any programming language, you learned HTML, CSS, and JavaScript perfectly, and the best recommendation will be JavaScript. Okay, sorry, the best recommendation will be React. Learning React. React is a library, and there are separate frameworks that built upon React, like Next.js and all those things. That I will be discussing about those also. And my recommended path will be React, and also recommended path by the most developers is also React because it's tagged with powerful. Yeah, learning React. React is like a most booming framework nowadays, library nowadays. It will be like booming forever because it's built by Facebook and it's used by the multiple other companies. Yeah, and I will be also talking about some fun thing that I found just today by the React only. Yeah, just stay tuned for that. And yeah, learning React and where to learn React. Welcome to where to learn React. From where you can learn React, I will just give you one link for that. My recommendation link is nothing but React official tutorials. Okay, people just generally go for Udemy courses and all those things, for certificates and all those things. There was a discussion in our Discord community also if you are there. I don't just do any course for the sake of only certificate. Okay, even like when you go for even we are giving certificates for you right now, but generally your skills will be evaluated through the projects you have done, not by the certificates. Okay, we need to show our project. Now let's say you have shown the certificate given by us for this 4 days boot camp for someone. They say what you have learned, show me what you have learned. You can show the projects and assignments that you have did, right? We have done some projects and assignments, right? You can show them. Like your certificates should not let's say someone come to you, what JavaScript, show me your certificate. They don't ask like that. They ask, show me your projects. Okay. Okay, now I will this is the best source, like best resource that I can find on the internet, the official resource by the React itself. Now if you are not an documentation lover, if you don't like reading the documentation and all those things, go to free code camp. That's all. I don't say anything, just go to free code camp. Camp.org. They have their YouTube channel also. You can watch the tutorials on YouTube, or you can see their documentations also. Okay, go to Freecode Camp on YouTube or go to Freecode Camp on their website also. If you observe here, the website is live on the same link. It will be in a time. Yeah, our website is live. You can also deploy your website which you have done these 3 days. You can make your own GitHub repository and push your code over there. Cool. Coming back to React, and these are the two best resources that I can give. If you are a video guy, if you want to learn OSC, go to Free Code Camp's YouTube channel and learn over there. Because why I'm recommending Free Code Camp also, they don't say you the concepts. They will like build the projects directly. Okay, it's like learning by building. I will believe on the particular concept morely. Like I will suggest learn anything by building. Like build the projects and learn the language. Don't don't try to master the complete language and then complete framework and then build that. What you need to do is you need to build the projects, and in the building process of building the project, you need to learn the thing. Okay, and these are the resources for learning React, and also we might do another bootcamp in the same way for the React in future. Might be in instance also where this planning is going on. Stay tuned for that also. And this React, and there are some other competitions for the React also, like Vue. I think it's VWE. I don't even know the spelling of that. Yeah, Vue, which like not as hyped as React, but some people are also learning Vue. This is also a nice JavaScript framework. Now React is a library, Vue is a framework. This is both a different thing, or mix of both. You can also learn Vue also. Let's try out both the things, learn which you'll like the most. But I recommend learning React from myself. And there is also one more thing called Angular. Don't think the website is live one more. Yeah, let me try. I think it's Angular is an JavaScript framework from Google, but it's officially killed by Google. That means Google is not going to give any updates from now for the Angular. Okay, there are going to be no updates, so I don't recommend learning this thing. People was learning Angular initially because it's by Google, right? Of course, people will learn, but now updates for Angular has been stopped. I don't recommend learning that. Yeah, and the choices for React, like JavaScript framework, is learning React and Vue. Now there are some other frameworks; those are built upon React. Okay, those are built upon React. Those are not completely separate set of rules and all those things. There are some frameworks; those are built upon React. So they will use React only. It's like React with superpowers, you can say, like Next.js. Now, Next.js is a React framework for production. Like there are some other frameworks like Nest.js, Gatsby.js, and I think it's Hydrogen. Yeah, Spotify, like Shopify recently launched their own React framework called Hydrogen or Helium. I haven't remembered the name. Just leave it. Yeah, there were some different frameworks coming up on the market, but the, the best recommendation is Next.js. Why? I'll also say why. There is a React conference coming up. Yeah, React conference coming up in December. And surprisingly, what I found when I inspect over this website is, so I inspect over this website and went to source. Source nothing but it includes the files of your website. And when I observe here, they are using Next.js for their websites. If you observe, it's saying underscore next just static. It's just a folder for like which will be shipped for all the Next.js course. Okay, just folder. Now, if you don't remember, if you can't, if you say no, that's not Next.js, it's only React. If you say that, I can also show you something. Mm, wait a minute, let me just get that. There will be some particular element inside of this, a particular style for specifically for Next.js. Okay, script, next script. Okay, you can also see this thing also. Okay, this one, next route announcer. Next route, you can see the particular tag, right? Next route announcer that will be used while using Next.js. What you can see is React is also using officially Next.js for building their own websites. Okay, that's why the most like not this is only the this is only the way by saying this I'm saying it's not like that. It have its own benefits and all those things. Okay, and also Tailwind CSS. Someone was just dropping Next.js and Tailwind CSS. I was like, you know what? React is also using it's using Tailwind CSS for building their websites. It's quite surprising, but yeah, they are using Tailwind CSS for using their websites. If you observe these classes over here, this is Flex and Flex One, and for some color, let me just click on these things. So it says Text5XL and MD, and all these classes are like Tailwind CSS classes. If you have any idea of Tailwind CSS, you can relate. Okay, these are classes are used in Tailwind CSS, and this is the things used by the official React also. Like these are the most hyping up and mostly used frameworks nowadays. Like I also recommend you to learn those frameworks. Like what you do next is after building this website, after practicing, learn React. Give it 1 to 3 months for learning React. Don't skip directly. Learn React. Learn advanced concepts of React. And while learning the advanced concept of React, jump into Next.js. Okay, jump into Next.js. And before jumping into Next.js, learn Tailwind CSS also. Okay, Tailwind CSS. There are some topics like Tailwind CSS, style components. Select one from these two. Style components is a way to write CSS in JavaScript. Tailwind CSS is like it makes writing CSS easier. You don't need to write the whole CSS. You just need to add file like classes to that. Tailwind CSS will add CSS automatically. Okay. That's it. This is the path that I recommend. Learn Next.js, Tailwind CSS. Now, while learning Next.js, you will get a new concept called CSS modules. Learn that also. Like, don't use CSS modules while using Next.js. Mark down these things. Like write down these things. This will be the path for you guys that I recommend going. Yeah, I think yeah, that's all. Like while after learning Next.js, you can build websites like this, which React just built. And also register if you are interested in React.js, register for this conference, which is coming up on December by the React official React conference. Yeah, cool. I think yeah, that's it. I've talked a lot today. Yeah, let's just quickly check this thing. Pick a framework. We'll just pick React, and there will be something else in React. And also modern CSS, as I said, style CSS and CSS modules, style components. These things will be covered. Also CSS frameworks, Tailwind CSS, CSS universe. Also there will be you will be coming through the something called Bootstrap. You might someone who have idea of Bootstrap might be like kill me now right now because I don't recommend learning Bootstrap. It's like Bootstrap is no more in future. That's what I think, and most of the developers think. Bootstrap is like it limits the CSS you can use. Okay, it limits the CSS you can use. But while coming to Tailwind CSS, Bootstrap and Tailwind CSS are like mostly the same. But while coming to Tailwind CSS, it will not keep any limitations. It will make the process easy. It will make the process easy. It will not keep any limitations. That's the change between the Bootstrap and Tailwind CSS. I don't recommend using Bootstrap, like even learning Bootstrap. Okay, you can if you want. That's not in my answer. Yeah. But I recommend learning Tailwind CSS. You can also use Tailwind CSS with your HTML also without any frameworks. You can also use in your HTML Tailwind CSS also. Yeah, you can also do that. Cool. And then also all the APIs and all the stuff. And also I would also cover PHP. Okay. PHP is like no more in the future. That's what I think, and most of the developers think. And right now, until now, PHP was in demand. Until now, also, even nowadays, PHP have a little demand, but it will not be until you guys get graduated. Like most of you guys are 20 and 21 batch, right? When you got graduated, there will not be any future for those languages. Future is Node.js, which is a complete JavaScript. Future is gonna be complete JavaScript or Python. These languages are gonna rule. As you have also seen the JavaScript stats yesterday, more than 68% of developers are selected JavaScript as the most famous language. Yeah, that's the thing. Don't go and learn. Just don't learn the old things which have passed away. People say that your seniors say some people say learn PHP, learn SQL. SQL you need to learn. That's not a database. SQL is a database. You need to learn for sure that thing somewhat. But don't learn PHP. That's what I recommend. And also don't go for Angular, which is killed by Google. I can show you the proof. Okay, don't just say I'm saying the word that killed by Google. If I go to killed by Google, here's the link. This is official link, not some other website. This is official website from the Google. Okay, I think it's official website. Yeah, as far as I know. Yeah, Angular will be listed in this. Yeah, if you sense here, Angular JS, December 2021. Okay, it's dating December 2021. Backend. Okay, okay. If you guys wanna pursue the backend, if you want me to explain how the path for the backend, learn Node.js, which is a JavaScript framework, or else learn Python, Django. Okay, select one from JavaScript or Python. If you select JavaScript, I will say learn Node.js. Okay, that's like PHP, same like PHP. If you don't PHP, Node.js is same like PHP. Learn Node.js and then explore Node.js. Learn something called there is something called. That's right. I'm not getting the name in English. I don't get the names at the time. There will be some packages. Okay, when you learn, yeah, main stack. There are different stacks. Okay, main stack, and there are some other different stacks on depend on JavaScript also. Yeah, Mun stack is like a booming stack right now. I can say because it will be like until 10 years also. Mun stack will be on demand for 10 years. That's what I can say from now. Yeah, for database, MongoDB, and all those things. Yeah. Anyone have any doubts, any queries, any questions? Drop in the chat.
Pranay chat. Yeah, we do have someone. He asked
Yeah, I
if
was
we.
answering.
Okay.
I was answering for the chat. I was checking. Yeah. Still, anyone have any doubts in the chat? Seems like no one have any doubts. And also, if
Pranay,
you
did
have
you
no,
take all
yeah,
the doubts? Like,
yeah, in the chat, yeah, yeah. I was taking all the notes.
Okay, the next plus Tailwind CSS is also done, right?
Yeah, that's best. That's the best recommendation that I can give for you. The final learning path
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
for front end.
Also, for the people who thought that the previous video of Git plus GitHub that we have been sharing yet, that was around 1 hour something. So like that's a kind of scary, right? So I've again shared a new video that is again from OSC, which is only 20, I think 30 minutes, 28 minutes, 48 seconds. So you guys can refer that if you want to learn Git and GitHub at a really short
Like
pace.
learning Git and GitHub is the most important stage. Okay, learning this version control system, like they will save you from the dead. Okay, they will save you. Let's say you're building a website and you build the home page and you are going to build the about page and you are not using Git and GitHub and all those things and you did some mistakes. You did some errors. There is some big error came up when you are building about page and everything just scaring you. Just go back to the safe zone. Go back to the when you build the home page and all those things. This for in this particular process you use Git, and also when you are working with your other students and when you are working with your friends, it comes handy Git and GitHub and all those things. And also one more thing, try to use developer tools as much as possible. Okay, try to use developer tools as much as possible. Let's say jump on to the OSC website. Let me just take this OSC website and you are thinking that I can make this thing some more better. Okay, I can make this thing some more better. Just inspect over this. Okay, just quickly inspect over this and you can change this over here. Let me just quickly drop to the bottom. Yeah, just inspect over this and to select the element, click on this first button and select the element. And let's say I want to increase this image size a little bit so that it will look good. For that, go to this and increase max width 100%. Okay, let me just check size to run. That's not how to change it. Just check by doing what it will change. Let's just keep this 500 pixels and now increase this thing. This like this. I'm just saying the example. Play with the developer tools like this. Go to any websites that you daily visit or daily see, which you inspire from, which design you like the most. Go to the website and play with developer tools. That was I say. Play with the inspect tools a lot and go with console to check any JavaScript logs and go to the source and check the files. You can see the actual website files, okay? The static files. You can see all the CSS over here that we have used for the building this. You can also go to our official GitHub repo and see there also, of course. But I recommend you guys to check this thing. And also there is something called Lighthouse in the developer tools, by which you can check the SEO presentation, like how fast your website is and all those things. I'm not gonna run it now, it will take some time. Yeah. Use developer tools as much as you can. That's what I recommend, yeah. I just want to take up the session, yeah.
Also, there's another tool I would like to add that I discovered recently. It's called Awesome Stack. Cypher, do you mind opening that on your tab?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's say you find a website that you really like, right? And you want to know just how they made it, and what tech stack they used. So it's really hard. But if you use this website called Awesome Stack, you can sort of get a list of just all the different technologies that they've used, and also if you make your own website, you can get like a good report of how to optimize it. So is it this? Hold on, I think that's the wrong website. Give me a second.
Okay, this also Awesome Stacks. Okay, there's a different website. Yeah, I was looking over that, like which lists all the like what, like for example,
Yeah, it's
what
Awesome Stacks.
LM is using.
Awesome Tech Stack, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, it's Awesome Tech Stack. AwesomeTechStack.com. So if you let's have real time try. Just put in the OSC-VIT-AP website. Let's see what and all stacks we've used.
Okay, enter the URL. Analyzing. Okay, our president is on call. Vijay, don't kill me if the stats analytics are low.
It'll tell us exactly where and all the OSC website is lacking.
Also, Pranay,
analyzing.
like you might as well show them our open source 101 repository if they want any changes or
Yeah,
they develop anything on our website. They can place a pull request in there so that we might as well take that up for the website in
yeah.
future.
Yeah. I'll go through that also. Yeah. And it says 84% awesomeness. That's pretty good, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it
So
is.
continue.
So improvement suggestions. What all do we have, man? Hey, really not that
We just
much.
included this bootstrap link, but we haven't used. We need to remove that link. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are not
So,
using that. Yeah. That is lagging. And it just shows versions and all those things where you can improve. Like that is just try to use more state of arts and technologies. Just give some suggestions for you. You can also check over here. It gives you some pretty suggestions how to improve your website. You can see it shows React, JavaScript library, UI frameworks, for fonts, CDNs.
there's also a quality report button on the site which like gives you a more detailed analysis on the let's say
Below 84 quality report,
the
Pranay.
quality. Yeah, it's
yeah,
just
quality reports.
so. While that happens, does anybody else just want to ask questions to Cyprenai? Yo, just can you give
Okay,
everybody mic
yeah,
access?
guys, yeah,
Because
like
raising
so
hands.
we cannot give the mic access. So maybe you can raise your hands and we'll give you the accesses if you have any doubts.
Yeah,
Just raise your
any
hands if you have
question
any doubt.
doesn't matter. If it can be about the
Any sort of questions, yeah.
you guys are at university, no, Cyprenai?
Yeah.
Are
No,
you
not
at uni?
yet.
No, we
Not
will
yet.
be going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just gave a report, but if you observe this particular report, it's nothing but just a lighthouse report. If I click on right click and go to lighthouse, click on generate report, just say gives you the same report. Okay, you just
Same
run the
report.
lighthouse
Yeah.
report. Yeah, the same report. It just show you the all improvements you can do. Server images, like image, we are using some long images and all those things, quality images. Just decrease the size of images if you want to load fast and all those things. Image proper size properties at the size property. Reduce the Java unused JavaScript. We are building this website, like improving this website. There is a lot of unused JavaScript code which is commented over there. Just remove the unused JavaScript and all those things. It gives you some good suggestions that you can follow. Reduce the third-party codes and all those things. Yeah. And observe our SEO code is one. Yeah, our SEO is 92%. SEO is nothing but search engine optimization, all those things. Performance. Yeah. And let me just quickly open this. Okay, I'll close this tab. That's why I just remember. If you observe the pattern, it's just the same thing.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
What's this? Yeah. These are some tools.
Cool. So I think that concludes our web dev from scratch 4-day course, right?
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. Went pretty well. Personally, I liked it. I learned a lot of
Me
new
too.
things.
Like I was never into web dev, but now I am considering it to be.
Yeah. Yo, but Cybernet is like seriously damn good at what he does, man. Like, even explaining stuff. I guess in the beginning we had some hiccups, but the dude picked up, and he's
On the first day.
yeah.
And
Still,
guys,
Anyone?
like let me tell you, it was Pranay's first session. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
That's
like
why I just missed up on the first day.
yeah,
yeah,
so all of you guys can think like what sort of guy he is. Like if he
yeah.
can present it in such a way in the first session itself, what can he
Bro,
be?
within 15 minutes, the dude like just changed. Like holy, it was like a completely different person on the set. So props to Cybernet, man. Not many people can pull this off.
And in
So,
fact, thank to our audience as well for such a great feedback and
oh yeah,
thank you for improving us.
legit. Yo, look, we
And
have like
also some
67.
amazing submissions. Also some amazing project submissions. Okay, you guys
Right?
talk. I will. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you just want to
Let's
go
talk
through
a
like
bit.
some of the cool projects that they made?
Yeah. If
Let's do
anyone have
that.
any work, you guys can leave the session over. We are
Yeah,
not going to
if
discuss.
you
Oh no
submitted
no no
something.
no wait Pranay, in fact you wait. Guys, if you guys want, then I can show you how like someone asked me to how to get on Discord. So like
Yeah, just
they
show that
have
thing
some
first.
issues
Until
with
then, I will
getting
just
us on
drag some link.
Discord. So
Yeah.
All right, yeah, that
if you guys also need that how to register and get to us on Discord, like I can be sharing my screen. Okay, let me just tell you guys about that.
Yeah. Share screen and tell
Uh,
them that. Until then, I'll just drag some cool
is my
submissions.
screen visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, so guys, so we have a spam out here,
Yeah,
but
and also
just hover
just
over to our
make sure
Discord
the
link, which
hello,
is here. Yeah,
hello.
Pranay. Yeah, Pranay. Yeah, Pranay.
But we can
Pranay.
hear you.
Uh, Pranay, did you say something?
My voice is not audible.
No, it's audible. You, yeah, yeah, say yes. Tell us.
Yeah, I was just saying, make sure you don't reveal any private channels on Discord.
No, no, I have logged out of my of my
Yeah.
yeah. So don't worry about that. Okay, so is my screen visible again? Yeah.
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, so just hover over to our Discord channel that we have given, and we have spammed it quite a lot. So just open the link and it will take you to this page, to be precise. And then if you already have an account, which I do, so you can just go to already have an account and it will show you this. Then you can sign in with your email, password, or QR code if you have the app in your phone. Otherwise, you can go to register, just type in your username, which can be anything, any of your nicknames as well. See, then you just create an account, and yes, you're in. Oh, start verification.
Yeah, you need to
Oh,
do all
I'll
that.
need to verify.
I mean, everyone knows how to set up accounts. So just it's fine.
Yeah,
We can.
okay.
Bro, we are learning web dev. We can sign up. It's okay.
Okay, so what I'll do is, uh, wait, I'll just go to this and log in with my ID, okay?
Yeah, that'll
And
help.
show you how. Wait, I'll do it with the app, okay? That's easy as hell.
So if you're not familiar with the
Wait.
Discord interface, don't worry about it. It'll probably take like max 1 week. You'll get used to it. So there are things called channels on the left side, and each channel is for like a specific thing. So if you're
Yep.
used to, oh wait, somebody has the hand. Finally, somebody raised their hand. Sake Chaudhary, can you leave? Yeah, man. Yeah, feel free to. The stuff is over. You can. If you guys want to leave, you can leave. We're just wrapping things up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
We'll
for the
be wrapping
Discord
up the
thing,
session
you
by
guys can go
12
to
in
the
the
queries section. Sorry, I'm done now.
Yeah, so
yeah.
in the queries you can ask all your questions. But just as like a closing notice, we started off with 200, and we like almost 1 out of 3 people gave up. So it just goes to show how if you're like if you just put in some effort, you can get very far when it comes to tech and stuff. And everyone over here, I'm pretty sure we can do some pretty cool stuff, work on great projects. It's all about just sticking to it. It's the hard part is not just you being dumb or not understanding something. It's just how it is when you start learning something. So just don't be too harsh on yourself, because I've made that mistake. And pretty sure Rajasu and Sapan have also. You have all been there, man. So yeah, I hope it's fun.
Yeah. And also, just wait a minute. I'm just writing some cool submissions for your students and for the
Let's
assignment.
look at that. Yes.
One more thing, if anybody still faces doubts or is not able to register or come to us on Discord, you guys can definitely go to our Insta channel and DM us in there. We'll definitely help you out to get us on Discord or solve your queries there and there, then and there itself. Thank you.
Yep.
Cool. Now, I'm opening the repositories. Wait a minute. Mhm. And share screen away.
Yes,
Can
you
you
can
just
share screen.
confirm with my perfect? These are the repositories. Let me just go for that time. Chandani's repository. I'm not sure if the particular person is here or not. So just open the repository, and Vipit is nothing but an online IDE where you can just
Yep.
run run your assembly. Just not to be a lot of work cloning your complete repository and checking. Opening over the Yeah, this is all loading. Load and give some space. Done. This reloads. And run. Okay.
There's
Again, this
JavaScript
one.
also.
Okay, yeah, this is a file structure mistake which happens. Yeah.
Oh, the author is raising her hand. R Harichandra. Yo, Ojuswa, can you give
Yeah.
her mic access, man?
He does have it.
Hello,
Oh,
can you
sweet.
hear
Yeah.
me?
Yes,
Oh,
we can hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I did not complete the whole one.
Yeah.
So,
Good.
actually,
Good.
I was uploading one by one, and the CSS part is not yet completed.
Okay. Okay. No, just as in,
Don't
I
worry
can see
about
the
it.
job already. It's fine.
a
It's all
GG
cool.
for the effort, to be honest, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm,
that's still more than like 60, 70% of the people here. So pretty good.
open day 3 submission. Open day 2 submission also.
Day 2 submissions. Yeah, that'll be fun.
I'm opening some random submissions. What is submitted? I don't know. Where is that another submission?
So if anybody just wants to say something from the audience, or if you have something to share about your experience, or if there's something you just want to talk about, just
Yeah.
raise your hand or something, or just drop a message. We'll give you mic access. It's no biggie.
Yeah. If anyone has any type of doubts, just raise your hands. Yeah. This
Yo,
is
this
the.
dude is so good at what he does. Krishna Reddy on, I bet it's him. That dude is a monster on HTML and CSS, man.
If I had some cool illustration, I just said, yeah.
Proper
Amazing.
god.
And bit.
Really cool.
Pranav, what are the assignment deadlines? Are
The day
they
1 and day 2 are apparently ended. Day 3 are also ended, I think.
so? There's one person in the
Yeah,
chat
if
who
you want
actually
to
wants to
still, if
submit
you
it
want to still
later.
submit the assignment, what you can do is you can create your own repository on your own GitHub
Let's
and
see if
share
we have
those
submitted
repository
today or
links
by tomorrow.
on Discord.
You
If
know
you
what?
have
You can come to the Discord and you can
yeah,
submit stuff over that and get direct feedback from the
yeah,
tech department over here. So don't worry about it if you're late. Also, even if it's over and even if it's been like a month, you can come drop your file. You can ask for feedback. It'll be chill.
even
Don't
if it's
worry.
not the same thing, if it's some other thing you wanna ask doubts on, you can ask. Even if your
Yeah.
personal projects.
Guys, we are not your professors or something. We are just your
Yeah,
colleagues or like college mates. So yeah,
Colleagues,
feel
bro. Friends,
free.
bro. What are you saying?
Friends,
friends,
exactly. Yeah.
don't try to bully here.
Colleagues.
Okay, Pranav. Sorry.
And yeah, we understand random things. Fair enough. And also head over to our open source community organization. Also, just quickly open that and make sure I don't open it in private. Try not to.
Okay, Krishna wants us to check his day to assignment as well.
Okay, search for it. If anyone wants to check your assignments, just drop in chat. I will check them.
Yeah,
On
just drop
your
the link.
search for that.
Yo, but this stuff will be so much more fun when we're doing it in person. Like,
Yeah, so the moving on college is in 3 to 4 months, I think.
yeah, it'll be fun.
Everyone head over to our open source community organization and look at the repositories. We have some open source repository as well. We also have awesome OSC on open source 101 repository. If you are not familiar with Git and GitHub and all those things, you can read all this README file. This one contains a perfect documentation how to clone this particular repository, how to add, how to do changes, how to make commit, how to push code, and all those things. This particular file covers everything. And when you do all these things, like you just made your complete pull request and all those things, you can go to this particular website, which is listed over here. Open this. Okay. This thing not have HTTP. Yes. Yeah. Okay. You go to this website, you can see yourself, your image, and your whichever data you are filled. Your favorite game. This is the data you will be filling. Okay. You can see your data over here, listed over here on this website. So then email this. Yeah. Make a commit over here. Let's check your code. Check yourself on your website. Yeah. And if this is the website, if you are like beginner to Git and GitHub, you can completely refer, and you can just quickly drop this link. Okay. So go to our organization, check our open source projects, and give them a star. Yeah. What about this? And go back to some projects. I'm just writing the projects.
All right. Do you guys want to wrap it up? Because it's been, I think we have 15 minutes over the time. We don't want to keep people.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And like people are leaving, so I guess some of the people are just waiting for us to end.
Yeah, otherwise, next time they'll say, "Oh, those OSC people always take 15 minutes extra, bro."
Yeah, let's wrap it up. As he has been asking to just bring his project.
Yeah. No, Krishna wanted us to see his day 2 one. Let's have a look at that. Probably be cool as well.
Also, guys, like if you guys are appreciating, please do spread a word for OSC in the university. So that everyone knows that we are here to help in any domain, especially
follow
web
on all
development.
our socials.
Yeah.
Follow on all our socials.
Yo, can we stop the recording here?
Yeah, stop the recording.
Yeah, let's stop the recording.